Hey everybody, it's your pal Mike Zombie, and this week we're going to talk about George's Intervention from 2009. Lately, I've run across a bunch of films that look fantastic. I hit play, I sit back, the title starts up, everything's clear, it's engaging, and then as soon as the title sequence is done and the show starts, the video drop-off, as far as quality goes, looks like a jump from DV to high 8. So I'm thinking like, oh shit, here we go. One of those movies where he managed to raise $30,000 amongst friends and contributors and put a whole bunch of that into editing software that had a titling package built in. But now he's just down to his XL1S, and he or she, I guess, I know plenty of very good female directors. No, I don't. And, just kept fucking around. There's some very capable women. But it allowed me to make a misogynist joke, so I did. Slap me on the hand, shame on me. But George's Intervention wasn't one of these films. Now, you guys know me. I'm fairly well jaded when it comes to independent zombie films because there's so many of them, and there really are. I keep running across title after title after title. The beauty of this digital age is that now... Well, it's the beauty and the hideous curse of the digital age is every asshole with a camera can make one of these things now. And while that means we get a lot of shit, every now and then we get something that breaks through as one of those really good creative people that just can't get the backing. They can't get the ear of the studio and forges ahead and does it him or herself. And yeah, it's going to lack in some areas because they don't have the big studio budget, but some good stuff tends to shine through. And that's very much the case with George's Intervention. I'm a bit confused on who put this out. I think Troma may have been involved simply because Lloyd Kaufman makes a brief appearance in this, but I didn't see any other branding. I'm going to have to take another look. I do believe I'm going to watch this again. It starts out with a bunch of friends planning an intervention. And one by one they show up at Ben's house. Everybody's worried because George is a zombie. Since they're trying to do an intervention, we know this isn't some type of zombie apocalypse film where, oh my God, there's zombies. Zombies are, while not the norm, they're not completely abnormal. In this film, it's kind of treated like a disease like any other. Probably not as prevalent as alcoholism or something like that, but probably a little more common than lupus, I guess. And while 4 people do get together for this intervention, I really think only 2 of them are friends. Because we have Ben, who's George's best friend. He's the most concerned, and he's kind of putting this together. George's sister is also involved, and she found the interventionist, I guess you would call her. And George's ex-girlfriend, who is still very concerned, and her boyfriend, which nobody likes, are all there. Now, the boyfriend guy had me laughing the minute he came on the scene because he was just talking shit. And you'll see this guy coming from a long way off, and you can see he's already running his mouth and talking shit on the approach. So when he comes into focus and you can pick him up on the microphone, fuck this shit, you ass, blah, 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 just talking and shit walking in. I've always liked that kind of character. Always have. So I knew I liked him already. Now, he's there for moral support. He's the current boyfriend of George's ex. He walks into a room, and I'm on the fence. I'm like, okay, this movie doesn't look great. I kind of like this character, but I'm thinking to myself, is there anything about this film am I going to like? Because I know it's not going to be the zombie apocalypse, so the writing's going to be a bit different. There's going to be a zombie intervention. Is it going to suck? And then I hear this.
It's like I'm swimming with sharks, and the water is filled with chud.
Chum.
What?
Chum. The word is chum. That's what sharks eat, chum.
Well, then what's chud?
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller.
Oh, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons.
No.
Are there any snacks?
That's right, folks. A Chud reference. So I've loved Chud Part 1, not 2, but the Chud. That was a fucking abomination. Chud, the original movie, was great. I love Chud, still do. I still watch it when it comes on. Because me and my friends growing up, we spent a lot of time playing in the water storm drains underneath our city. That's what Chud was pretty much all about. So I knew I was going to like it. Barbara is the interventionist, who has a very professional flyer, by the way, which is, of course, why George's sister picked her, because her flyer was colorful, had little animal stickers on it, and looked like it was made by a 7-year-old. So she shows up with a bunch of cue cards. Literally, cue cards. She's holding on to them, and she's explaining what she's going to do. This, though she doesn't admit it to the group, is her very first intervention, and she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. Which is fine, because it kind of lended itself to the performance. Now, this was... I knew her immediately. I'm like, who is this lady? Who is this lady? Lynn Lowry. And she has appeared in many, many films, but I know her first off from The Crazies in 1973. And The Crazies, it just came out a couple years ago. She was in both. I love her. She's great. She was perfect in this part as the kind of bumbling, want-to-be professional interventionist. So they all get prepared, and they go to George's house. Now, we run into George, and you know what? George really reminds me of just, I don't know, maybe me 10 years ago. Kind of hanging out, kind of a slacker, playing a lot of online games, didn't have much direction. We part ways at the eating people thing because, yeah, he is a zombie, and he has a history of eating people, which is why we have to have an intervention. He opens his door, and he sees this cavalcade of interventionist standing outside, and he's like, what the fuck, and closes the door. Then they ring the bell again. He opens again. He's like, what? Hey, we're here to hang out. So when they come into his house, and George's house is sealed off from any sort of natural light because, of course, light makes zombies rot, apparently. And they all sit down, and one by one, they kind of go through their grievances as to, I'm worried about you, you're not living right, and I'm afraid something bad's going to happen. If you don't straighten up, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. And the movie itself is cleverly written. The special effects are all right. Not great, but not horrible. When you're in the genre, you know, especially being independent, that sometimes you're going to just get shitty latex poured on everything. But then again, I also need to stop being such a douche and look back at my own personal zombie favorites. I loved a lot of zombie movies that were nothing more than blue paint. So I should just shut the fuck up and appreciate. Just saying. I've been spoiled by movies as of late with decent budgets that had great practical effects that really look gory, horrific. I'm a big fan of CGI. You've heard me say this a bunch of times. When it enhances something that's realistic. When the CGI creates something that just pulls me just beyond regular disbelief that we have to have for these films into like this supernatural disbelief, I can't be on board. And I immediately get annoyed, which is why Avatar was fine. I wasn't into Avatar, and I'm not going to see part 2. I mean, unless it's on DVD and someone has it. It's just not my thing. It's so not realistic to me. I don't care how beautiful it is. I need, even if the premise is something crazy like zombies, I need what I see, the gore, the storyline. I need it to be based somewhat in a reality that could possibly exist. I'm willing to suspend disbelief that dead people walk around and bite other people, because I think that's pretty cool. Obviously, I love it. When zombies come out, I want people to scream and run, not suddenly develop magical powers, fly, and have lasers emit out of their hands and kill them, because then I can't identify to any of it, minus the just dying part. I know I'm picky. It's just how I am. So, I had a lot of laughs in this film, way more than I thought I would. One thing, the cast is named, this is not an accident, named after characters from Romero films. I'll run down the list on IMDb in the order presented. Ben, these are names you think back to Romero's films. Ben, Sarah, Barbara, George, obviously, Francine, Stephen, Roger. Come on. But to jump back into this film, they have their intervention, at least the first half, and everybody takes a break. And the grievances are pretty reasonable against George, but he's in complete denial. And if the movie lost me even a little bit at any point, it was probably here when they take their first break. Because George's house isn't all that big. And we add new characters and people keep coming into the house. A salesman, a group of Mormon missionaries, a couple of strippers, so forth. People are dying in rooms. Now, remember, we had a group of 4 people for the intervention plus the interventionist and George. So we've got 6 people kind of hanging out. They all go to separate rooms, 2 go outside, but people keep showing up, going in the house and dying in different parts of the house. And George is throwing them in the basement because he's going to eat them. But they start coming back from the dead too. My problem with this was that they had to make a lot of people die in this house. And nobody realized it. That was the part I didn't like. But the rest of this film, to me, was great. The laughs were genuine and really funny. They didn't ham it up in terms of let's just make fun of the zombie thing. It was just they challenged what zombies are. Because one guy, the asshole, well, I don't want to give all the details out because I do want you to see it, but the asshole current boyfriend gets killed. Kind of in a bit of in an argument and a shoving match with George. George didn't go and kill him, which is it was an accidental death. Then George tapes this asshole down to a bed with duct tape by his hands and eats his leg, and the guy wakes up like, what the fuck are you eating? George's like, nothing. He's like, oh my God, you've got my leg. And he realizes he's a zombie because he feels no pain. But he's still speaking, and he's like, well, great, thanks a lot, asshole. Now I'm going to be a hobbling zombie. Later on, the zombie taped to the bed gets shot square in the forehead. And as we've been taught by zombie movies over the years, he's supposed to die. No, what happens now is instead of being able to speak and make sense, now he just babbles because now he's a mindless zombie, which, according to this film, are much more dangerous than the regular. Anyway, and after the break, when, George does kill, or we think he does, the interventionist, we kind of lose the intervention aspect. Nobody tries to make it happen. The rest of the movie, people are kind of walking around avoiding the dead people or bumping into them or getting killed or trying to deal with their friends that are now zombies, and we lose the whole point of the intervention, but it's probably for the best because I don't know how much further they would have gone with it, aside from just good rapport between George and his friends. The rest of the film was kind of a fun ride. And there is a twist. At the end, there is a twist revealed as to the killings. I'm not going to give that away. And the ending, I was laughing quite a bit. Quite a bit. Rumor has it that Tom Berdinsky made up a rating scale for movies such as this. Whether we would buy it, borrow it, or simply not bother. I think Tom and I would agree. This is a borrow. It had a neat little premise, witty dialogue, but it wasn't so witty that it was trying to smart itself out like Clerks. Ooh, imagine a zombie movie that was like witty like Clerks and had the great banner between Zombie Dante and Zombie Randall. That'd be kind of interesting. I don't know. One thing I know, I'm not even supposed to be here today. You guys have a great week. Next week's show, it's going to be fucking amazing. I promise you that. Not that this show wasn't. This show kicked the shit out of another show that we agreed not to mention because they were considering pressing charges. And we'll be doing some stuff next week. Ooh, yeah, Zombie Mob. I forgot. We got a Zombie Mob coming up next week. Well, we're recording next week. When McPierce is going to post it, I don't know. But this show is going to be epic. Epic. It's going to consist of McPierce, Midnight Corey, Misfit Boy, and myself discussing Dawn of the Dead Extended Mall Hours. It's a fan edit you've probably, very likely, never seen. It's the most complete version of the film ever made with every single bit of footage put back in. It's like 2.5 hours long, and if you're a Dawn of the Dead fan, a connoisseur of the dead like we are, it's an amazing print, and we're going to discuss it, and what we liked about it, what we didn't like. It's going to be, I'm so thrilled. I'm so excited I can't even tell you. So tune in next week for our regular podcast. It's going to be an extra awesome episode, that I promise. And about the same time, look for the Zombie Mob. It's going to be fucking off the hook. You're going to love it.